Hey, lovely, good evening. Welcome to the news summary at 22 hours on Loyola Television. We look at the headlines. The Forum for the Energy Sector says Zambia must not normalize load shedding. The Road Development Agency says the Kazungala Bridge is expected to be commissioned next month, October. Zambia may be in no mood to tolerate much more currency losing value, but the hard-hit kwacha depreciation will be hard-pressed to prevent. The naming of a Chinese man as developmental chief in Ghana has elicited mixed reactions on social media. To present the news at 22, my name is Luizia Nalupumbwe. The Forum for the Energy Sector says Zambia must not normalize load shedding. Energy Forum Chairperson Johnston Chikwanda says solutions to load shedding need to be found immediately because it is extremely harmful to the economy. Mr. Chikwanda was speaking to Loyola News in Lusaka today.
So a combination of the Lower Gorge power plant and some solar projects that have been launched is completely going to eliminate the current deficit that we have. However, that does not mean that Zambia is out of the energy poverty crisis, because about 70% of the households are still not connected to the national grid. We have the electrification rate of about 30%, which is still quite very, very low. So meaning we still have to continue to invest in power generation capacity.
Meanwhile, ZESCO Limited says the ongoing diversification of energy source projects will reduce load shedding by the end of September. ZESCO spokesperson Henry Kapata has told Loyola News that Lusaka, Southern and Copperbelt are the most hit provinces.
So we started from 15 hours load management. Now we are between 10 and 12 because there is a plan we call YPOD plan. This is a plan where we are looking at how many projects are coming on board, looking at the weather-induced power deficit, so that at the time we are closing this year, when all these projects come on board, load management should be able to be reduced. By September, we should be talking about load shedding somewhere between 4, 8, and 10 hours, somewhere around there, because we are already putting up plans to make sure that we fight the deficit, which is currently at 810 megawatts.
Long queues at Kazungala border post has been a permanent feature for cross-border traders ferrying goods across the Zambezi River. But with the construction of a 923-meter Kazungala bridge across the mighty Zambezi on the Zambia-Botswana border, traders will have a different story to tell. And the Road Development Agency says the bridge, which is at 99% complete, is expected to be commissioned next month, October. Mr. Masuzion Ndlovu, the Communications and Corporate Affairs Director, says transit time, which currently takes 3 days, would drastically be reduced to hours.
Well, I should say that the Kazungala Bridge is near completion. The Kazungala Bridge is divided into 3 packages. We have what is known as Package 1, which is the main bridge. The main bridge is 923 meters long and 18.5 meters wide. It also has a provision of a railway line, which we are calling an embedded railway line. And apart from that, there is also what is known as the one-stop border post on the Botswana side. That is Package 2. And then Package 3 is the one-stop border facility on the Zambian side. And so for the main bridge, we have now done about 99% physical progress. There's just a few outstanding works here and there, but then it should be ready for commissioning anytime.
The Kazungala Bridge project is a one-stop border facility which was started in 2014. The estimated project cost is $259.3 million US, with Zambia contributing $134.56 million United States dollars and Botswana contributing $124.73 United States dollars. The Association for Metal Recycling fears that most scrap metal business will close due to economical hiccups. Secretary General for the Zambia Metal Recycling Association says companies dealing in scrap metal have been badly affected because of non-exports. This is because of COVID-19 pandemic, which has resulted into border restrictions. Edgar Habasongo says scrap metal businesses has completely slowed down in the last first and second quarter of the year.
Scrap metal industry has equally suffered because of the pandemic, which is ongoing. As you know, there are issues of social distancing, which we cannot avoid. There are also industries that are near closing because of the pandemic that is going on. And further, you realize that for scrap to be generated, you need the industry to be running. So most of the metal industries have closed down or almost closing down. As a result, there is very little that is being generated. The only scrap that can probably be scavenged are those that have been thrown away or redundant metals.
Zambia may be in no mood in tolerating much more currency losing value, but the hard-hit kwacha depreciation will be hard-pressed to prevent. The rapid depreciation of the kwacha has crushed the cost of doing business and subsequently impacted the standard of living. Economic expert Chibamba Kanyama says the kwacha's continued loss of value against key convertibles, which is trading at 20 kwacha per $1 as of today, Tuesday, is worrying, especially to the manufacturing industry. Mr. Kanyama was speaking to Loyola News in Lusaka today.
Really not very sure what is contributing to this, and it's coming at the time when the copper price is marginally increasing on the global market. So we are thinking that the kwacha will begin to kind of stabilize and come down in value. Increase in value, appreciate slightly. But some of the contributing factors, we're getting into the agricultural season now, and government has been importing quite much, fertilizers and other inputs. So they have had to go to the market to import. Number two, I believe that there is also importation of crude oil for Indeni, and that also has had an impact on the price of the dollar. And thirdly, there has been some negative sentiment on Bank of Zambia issues. So the market is still waiting for policy direction about what happens next before they can begin to commit their money into the economy. So there is less supply of the dollar as a result. High demand, less supply of the dollar. And the impact is very obvious that the price levels is going to go up. I worry a lot for manufacturing companies.
Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, says government must consider focusing on the national budget more on the manufacturing sector in order to create jobs. JCTR Program Manager Innocent Ndanshe says government needs to put in place measures that will create employment and attract investment.
I think we need to take that opportunity to have many sources of income that will help us even to invest adequately in agriculture, manufacturing. You are talking of education, access to water and sanitation, the health sector that is currently limping.
Traders in Lusaka say they are facing difficulties in selling their merchandise because customers are scared of contracting the COVID-19 pandemic. We have details in this report. COVID-19 pandemic has been a drawback to Zambians as it has adversely affected more sectors of the economy. Fruit traders in Lusaka have not been spared. Their main complaint is that most customers are shunning from buying their fruits. Some of these traders have traveled as far as Kasama in the northern province to come and ply their merchandise in Lusaka. The traders are of the view that assistance is given to them in terms of loans so that they can diversify their modes of businesses.
Pamla na business na kwata ya kuwaya so nebo wido shakwata mwa kusungila abana
for business ya kushitisha ma fruits ukuwaya nomba abantu tabaleshita pamulandu na matenda yatukosela nomba mwe buteko tulefa mtu afirishe kwa abana kuma skulu na bale kokuya abana bale ikala pamayanda tatuishi byo foto ala ikala mu bwikashibwesu.
Currently,
Zambia is experiencing a surge in coronavirus cases, probably due to the court season, and it is not known when the pandemic will ease for business operations to return to full capacity. Louisiana Lupumbwe, Loyola News in Lusaka.
It has been emphasized that every citizen has a huge role to play in combating the coronavirus pandemic. Medical Association of Zambia President Samson Chisele says COVID-19 must not be associated with grading of citizens into categories that can contract it or not. Dr. Chisele has told Loyola News that once the members of the public strictly adhere to the preventive measures prescribed by the Ministry of Health, the country will see a drop in the number of new infections.
So I think that going forward, as an association, our call really is for the public, individual members of the public, to ensure that we take care of ourselves. If a leader I know or some other person is not masking up, that should not be the reason why I don't mask up as an individual, because when I get sick, I get sick. COVID-19 is not a sort of disease that selects economic status or importance of a particular individual. All of us are affected, poor, the rich, the middle class. All of us are affected, and so the public must take personal interest in ensuring that we comply with these COVID-19 measures.
In international news, Zimbabwe has banned mining in all its national parks, reversing a decision to let Chinese firms explore for coal at its famous Hwange Game Park. The move came after campaigners instituted court action against the court to prevent ecological degradation in parks. Two Chinese-owned firms had been given a license to explore for coal in Hwange National Park. It is famous for its elephants and the endangered black rhino. The Zimbabwe Environmental Lawyers Association warned that the park would turn into a site for drilling, land clearance, road building, and geological surveys if coal exploration went ahead. Information Minister Monica Musuvangwa, later following a cabinet meeting, announced the ban on mining with immediate effect. This is despite the fact that China is a major investor in Zimbabwe and a close ally of President Emmerson Mnangagwa's government. Actress Lupita Nyong'o has written a moving tribute to her Black Panther co-star Chadwick Boseman, terming his death as a punch of my guts. Chadwick died on 29 August, aged 43, after battling colon cancer for 4 years. Lupita wrote on Instagram, "I write these words from a place of hopelessness to honor a man who had great hope. I am struggling to think and speak about my friend, Chadwick Boseman. In the last tense, it doesn't make sense." She recalled the experience of working with Chadwick in the Marvel superhero film. She said he showed up to every rehearsal and training and shot day with his game face on. Lupita posted a photo of her laughing with Chadwick. The naming of a Chinese man as a developmental chief in Ghana has elicited mixed reactions on social media. Sang Kuang was named Kunsohene, which means developmental chief, at Kuahu Abetifi, a town in the eastern region of Ghana. The title is given to non-royals whose efforts are deemed to have had a positive impact to the society. Photos of him being carried shoulder high by residents were shared online, provoking a lot of comments. Finally, in sports, the 2020-2021 season Football League is set to resume next month on the 17th of October. And Football Association of Zambia General Secretary Adrian Kashala has announced that relief funds that were recently received from FIFA are soon to be distributed to affiliated clubs. Kashala says funds are aimed at providing relief clubs whose income has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. He was speaking to Loyola News in Lusaka today.
FIFA pledged COVID relief fund, and it's just something that will mitigate the situation that we have. It's not coming to sort out our financial problems. Yeah, so going forward, we are preparing to start the 2020-2021 soccer season in October.
On that sporting item, we come to the end of the news summary at 22 hours. But before we go, a recap of the headlines once again. The Forum for the Energy Sector says Zambia must not normalize load shedding. Energy Forum Chairperson Johnston Chikwanda says solutions to load shedding need to be found immediately because it is extremely harmful to the economy. Long queues at the Kazungala border post have been a permanent feature for cross-border traders ferrying goods across the Zambezi River. But with the construction of 923-meter Kazungala bridge across the mighty Zambezi on the Zambia-Botswana border, traders will have a story to tell. The Road Development Agency says the bridge, which is at 99% complete, is expected to be commissioned next month, October. Zambia may be in no mood to tolerate much more currency losing value, but the hard-hit kwacha depreciation will be hard-pressed to prevent. Economic expert Chibamba Kanyama says the kwacha's continued loss of value against key convertibles, which is trading at 20 kwacha per $1, is worrying, especially in the manufacturing industry. The naming of a Chinese man as developmental chief in Ghana has elicited mixed reactions on social media. Sung Kiang was named Konsoihene, which means developmental chief, at Kwahu Abetifi, a town in the eastern region of Ghana. The title is given to non-royals whose efforts are deemed to have had a positive impact on the society. We come to the end of the news summary at 22 hours on Loyola Television. On behalf of the entire production and news team, my name is Luizia Nalupumbwe. Good night.